On this edition of the Mets Prospect Profiles, we're going to talk about a young slugger who's seen some time in the big leagues but has an uncertain future. Let's talk about him. And well, welcome back to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm Watu-K99. Thank you so much for watching these videos. Today we're going to talk about the number 7 ranked prospect in the New York Mets organization. It is Mark Vientos. Born December 11th, 1999, stands at 6'4", 205 pounds. He's been a third baseman in his career. He is quickly being moved away from third base. At this point, he's really a first baseman / DH. Now, let's talk about who Mark Vientos is, a little bit about his past. Now, they drafted him as a 17-year-old, the Mets did, in the second round of the 2017 draft. He's been in the Mets organization for 5.5 years. I do like that he grew up a Mets fan because his dad's a Mets fan. Now, they were aggressive with Vientos in 2019. He played with the Columbia Fireflies, an organization, unfortunately, that is no longer in existence. And while his season was a bit of a disappointment with his expectations, the year was pretty respectable. He hit .255, slugged .411 in 111 games, 12 home runs, and that was his 2019, still kind of getting his feet wet, figuring out where he was going to go. So then came the 2020 season, but there was a pandemic, and there was no minor league baseball. So then came 2021, and this was his breakout year in Binghamton in AA. So he hit .281 with 25 home runs over 83 games. He also got some time at AAA as well, and then was added to the 40-man roster. In 2022, he slugged above 500 for the second straight year. And he spent most of that season in AAA in Syracuse. The issue, though, is Mark Vientos' strikeouts. He has an issue with swings and misses. He strikes out over 30% of the time, plus he posts a ground ball rate close to 50%. That's a problem because, he's not the best runner in the world, and that leaves you prone to double plays. Now, he did get promoted to the major leagues late in 2022. He had 36 at-bats, and he had 6 hits, 1 home run, 5 walks, but he struck out 12 times. 1 out of 3 times he struck out. So here's the thing with Mark Vientos and how he swings the bat. He has a very upright stance with his 6'4" frame, and he keeps his feet very spread apart, holds his hands very high, and wraps the bat around his head. He really likes to have that big wind up into swinging the bat. But he swings with his toe tap. He has a small leg kick. There's a lot of working parts. There's a lot of movement in his swing. So when he makes solid contact, the ball can absolutely explode off the bat. He can hit the ball over 400 feet. And that's because of his bat speed, the natural loft from his swing, and the torque from using his lower half very effectively. The thing, though, is he has a very long swing because of the way that he sets up in the batter's box. And if you throw him a good hard fastball inside, he's very prone to not being able to get around to it. That is a problem. But when he gets a hold of it, because of that power, he can really punish an inside pitch and pull the ball really deep. I mean, think like Yoenis Cespedes. That kind of power is what we're talking about with Mark Vientos. Now, he also has shown some opposite field power as well. He's not a dead pull hitter, which I like. And when he can do that, he can get an exit velo of over 100 miles an hour to all fields, which is very encouraging. The other thing with Vientos, he tends to start slowly and then heat up over the course of the season, and this has been the course over his entire career. Now let's talk about the rest of his game. As far as his defense goes, he's got a very strong arm, which works at third base. The problem is his quickness, his glove are not adaptable to being a major league third baseman. That's going to be Brent Beatty's job, it looks like. So even though he's not unathletic, he doesn't have that quick twitch, which you really need to have if you're going to be in the infield. So that's why he doesn't have lateral quickness. He has a slow first step. That's why he's been moved off of third base towards the end of 2022. The Mets tried him in left field during the offseason, thinking, well, we've got a possible opening for an outfield spot. Let's see if that would work. It didn't. Think Todd Hundley. If you remember when the Mets got Mike Piazza, And so they had to move Todd Hundley off of the catcher's mound. They tried to figure out where they could put Todd Hundley. They put him in left field, and it was not a successful experiment. That's the level that Mark Vientos is at in the outfield. This guy's going to be a DH, maybe a backup first baseman. That's it. That's his only position. He is a right-handed DH if he makes it at the majors. And I felt he might have a shot at making the majors going into the season. He might still have that, but with the Mets signing Tommy Pham, I think that really fulfills the role for sort of a right-handed primary DH, especially with, now, I don't know if Pham has the natural power at this point that Vientos does. In fact, I think he doesn't, but Pham's a more professional, polished, all-around player. I think Vientos starts this season in Syracuse, but I could see him being a call-up in case of an injury. So those are my thoughts on Mark Vientos. I want to hear yours. Do you think he's going to start at Syracuse? Does he have a chance to make the Mets and actually stick with the Mets and be a useful contributor and provide some of that power that the team is clearly lacking at this point? Well, thanks so much for watching, everybody. I'll see you back here with more content from you know where, the Wicker Chair.